Namaste dear children, I am Rekha. Welcome to my channel Rekha's Knowledge Hub. Today we will see NCERT Classic Science Chapter 6 Materials Around Us Part 1. The materials used to make the crucible are clay and iron. Crucible means a vessel used to melt substances. This is from Rasaratna Samuchaya 10.3. The Rasaratna Samuchaya has been widely studied and commented upon by Ayurvedic scholars over the centuries. It remains an important reference work for practitioners of Ayurveda and those interested in the history of Indian medicine. Observing objects around us, Gulan and Sheeta are thrilled to go to their new class after the summer break. So Gulan and Sheeta, they are very excited to start a new class after their summer vacation. They enter their classroom and start talking. What have you brought to school today? Asked Sheeta. So Sheeta asked Gulan what he has brought to school. It could be anything from books to a lunchbox or a sports equipment. See this picture. Look, I have a new notebook. Gulan said, I have a new notebook. Then what? Sheeta said, I also have a new notebook and a pen. After some time, Madam Vidya, their science teacher, enters the class and starts interacting with the students to draw their attention to many things they use in their daily life. After some time, their science teacher, Madam Vidya, she entered the class and started interacting with the students. She asked about several things they use in their daily life. She asked, how are they similar to or different from each other? She asked to identify the similarities and differences between these things. What are their shapes and colors? How does it feel when you touch them? Are some of them heavier than others? So different things might have different shapes and different colors. Some will be very soft, some will be hard. Some are heavier, some are not heavier, lighter. All things are made up of some materials like paper, wood, cloth, glass, metal, plastic, clay and so on. So these things are made up of several materials like paper, wood, cloth, glass, metal, plastic, clay and so on. Any substance that is used to create an object is referred to as material. So what is a material? Any substance that is used to create an object is referred to as material. We have natural materials like wood, stone, cotton, wool, etc. We have synthetic materials like plastic, rubber, nylon, etc. Let us identify. Make a list of objects you see around and also write the names of the materials they are made up of. See this table. Identify materials. See, we have to write some objects and we have to write the materials they are made up of. For example, pen. A pen is made up of either plastic or metal. Then table, wood, glass, metal. So based on everyday observations, one can conclude that objects are made up of various materials. So objects are made up of different types of materials. The earliest pottery found in the Indian subcontinent dates back to 7,000 to 8,000 years in the Ganga plains, Lahuradeva, and in Baluchistan, Mehrgarh. This means that the earliest evidence of pottery making in the Indian subcontinent dates back to a period between 7,000 and 8,000 years ago in the Ganga plains, Lahuradeva, and in Baluchistan, Mehrgarh. About 4000 BC onwards, Sindhu Saraswati developed techniques of wheel-turn pottery productions. Pigmentation application of protective or decorative coats called slips of multiple colors, decorative painting, etc. The Indus Valley civilization, which flourished around 4000 BC, was one of the world's earliest urban civilizations. One of their notable achievements was the development and use of the potter's wheel. They had used different protective or decorative coats called slips of multiple colors. They also used decorative painting. These techniques became further sophisticated during the Sindhu-Saraswati, also known as Harappan civilization, 2600 to 1900 BCE, with a bright red surface painted with black colored designs displaying geometric patterns, and aquatic and terrestrial animals. So the Sindhu-Saraswati or Harappan civilization, they had used bright red surface painted with black colored designs displaying geometric patterns, then some aquatic and terrestrial animals. The clay used for making pots, dishes, bowls and other items was carefully selected and cleaned, sieved, kneaded, turned over a wheel and finally baked in kiln. Baked clay is called terracotta. Pots were used for various purposes from cooking to storage of food grains, oil, ghee and so on. Some very large storage jars and other pottery items are exhibited at the National Museum, New Delhi. So the clay used for making pots was carefully selected and cleaned, and they are then sieved, kneaded, turned over a wheel and finally baked in kiln. Sieved meaning to pass through a sieve, which is a utensil with a mesh to separate coarse particles from the fine ones. Then what do you mean by kneaded? Kneaded means to work duff or clay with the hands to make it smooth. Then turned over a wheel. In pottery making, a potter turns a wheel to shape clay into various forms. Baked clay is called terracotta. Pots were then used for various purposes, from cooking to storage of food grains, oil, ghee and so on. Some very large storage jars and other pottery items are exhibited at the National Museum, New Delhi. How to group materials. Group the objects shown in figure 6.1 based on any common property such as shape, color, hardness, softness, shine, dullness or materials they are made up of. See this picture. You have given some objects. You have to group them based on any common property. See this table. Here grouping is done based on material. First one is wood. Wooden scale, wooden charka. These items are made up of wood. Then plastic. We have plastic scale, keychain, pen, sharpener, etc. Then glass. There is a glass cup. Then paper, book, notebook, rubber, eraser. Then stone, stone is there. Then clay, clay diya, clay pot. Then metal, spoon, hole puncher, key lock. These items are made up of metal. Which property did you use to group the objects in activity 6.2? We grouped the objects based on their materials. Did your friends group objects based on similar properties? What did you learn from this activity? You must have noticed that an object can be made from different materials and some materials can be used to make more than one object. An object can be made from different materials. For example, a scale can be made from either plastic or wood. Similarly, some objects can be used to make more than one object. For example, plastic can be used to make scale, sharpener, pen, etc. The method of arranging the objects into groups is called classification. So, what is called classification? The method of arranging the objects into groups is called classification. Objects can be classified on the basis of a common property that they have. We can classify the objects based on their common properties. Similarly, we can classify materials based on certain properties. Activity 6.3. Let us think. Let us think what materials we can use to make a tumbler. Fill in the names of the materials in the space provided in figure 6.2. So, a tumbler is given. We have to write the materials used to make that tumbler. So, we can make a tumbler using either stainless steel, plastic, glass, ceramic, etc. Would it be a good idea to use paper-like materials for making cooking utensils? No, paper-like materials would not be a good idea for making cooking utensils. Why? They are not heat resistant. Paper-like materials are not heat resistant. They would burn or catch fire when exposed to high temperatures, making them unsafe for cooking. Then they are not durable. These materials, paper-like materials, are not durable enough to withstand the wear and tear of cooking, such as scraping and washing. Then there are some hygienic concerns. Why? Paper-like materials, they can absorb moisture and bacteria, making them difficult to clean and sanitize. So, paper-like materials, they are not good for using as cooking utensils. Then, why cannot a tumbler made of cloth be used for storing water? A cloth tumbler would not be a good choice for storing water due to several reasons. First one is leakage. Cloth is porous, meaning water can easily seep through it, leading to spills and wastage. Then, they are not durable. Cloth is not durable enough to withstand the weight of water, especially when full. It can easily tear or rip. Also, the cloth can absorb bacteria and other contaminants from water, making it unsafe for consumption. So, for these reasons, materials like stainless steel, glass or plastic are commonly used to make tumblers as they are durable, non-porous and can effectively maintain the temperature of the liquid. The materials that are required to make a tumbler should be capable of holding water. So, materials used to make a tumbler should be capable of holding water. What decides which material should be used for making an object? We choose a material to make an object depending on its properties and the purpose for which the object is to be used. So, how do you choose a material to make an object? It depends on its properties and it also depends on the purpose for which the object is to be used. We may use different materials for making different parts of an object. For example, a pen may be made up of different materials like plastic, metal, and ink. So, we may use different materials for making different parts of an object. For example, a pen, it is made up of different types of materials like plastic, metal, and ink. Why are different materials used for making balls for various sports? Different materials are used for making balls for various sports to adapt to the specific requirements of each game. So, these requirements include durability. Durability means the ball needs to withstand the wear and tear of the sport, whether it is being kicked, hit, or thrown. The next one is bounce. The ball needs to have the right amount of bounce to ensure proper gameplay. Then, grip. The ball needs to provide a good grip for players to control it effectively. Then, weight. The ball needs to have the right weight to achieve the desired speed and trajectory. So different materials are used for making balls for various sports. Then next, can a cricket ball be used to play tennis? No, a cricket ball cannot be used to play tennis because first reason is size and weight. A cricket ball is significantly larger and heavier than a tennis ball. This would affect the trajectory, speed and control of the ball during a tennis match. The next reason is bounce. Cricket balls are designed for a specific type of bounce on a cricket pitch, but tennis balls, on the other hand, are designed for a different type of bounce on a tennis court. So, a cricket ball cannot be used to play tennis. Let us explore. Figure 6.3 illustrates a variety of balls that are of the same size but made up of different materials. See this figure. You have given three types of balls: a tennis ball, a cricket ball, and one hand exercise ball. So these balls are of the same size, but they are made up of different materials. Take each ball and drop it from a fixed height. Note the height to which the ball bounces and record it in table 6.2. Identify the ball that achieves the highest bounce. So you have to drop each of these balls from a fixed height and you have to record the height to which the ball bounces. And we have to identify the ball that achieves the highest bounce. Bouncing level of the balls. See the ball, tennis ball, it bounces high. Cricket ball, medium. Then hand exercise ball, low. Then any other, it depends on the type of the ball. Discuss in class other properties of sports balls such as size, color, texture and how high they bounce, and understand why balls are made up of specific materials for specific sports. Observe figure 6.4 and group the objects in as many different ways as possible. See in this picture some objects are given. We can group these objects in different ways. You might have grouped these objects according to their shapes or by their color or materials they are made up of. So we can group these objects based on their shapes, based on their color or based on the materials they are made up of. We have learned that materials may be classified on the basis of their properties. So materials, they can be classified on the basis of their properties. For example, in the kitchen, we usually store things in such a manner that similar utensils are placed together. So in kitchen, we keep similar utensils together. Similarly, a grocer usually keeps all types of spices in one corner, then pulses and grains in another corner, and so on. You may also visit any chemist shop and inquire about how medicines are arranged. Medicines in a chemist shop, they are typically arranged in a systematic way to ensure easy access and efficient organization. Some common ways are by therapeutic category. That is, medicines are grouped based on the conditions they treat, such as pain relievers, cough and cold medications, digestive aids, like that. Then they can be arranged based on their brand name. Medications from specific brands, they are grouped together like that. What are the different properties of materials? Then we will see the different properties of materials. Observe and identify appearance of materials. So one property is appearance. Materials often look different from each other. Freshly cut wood, which is unpolished, has a distinct appearance, quite different from that of iron. Similarly, iron looks different from copper or aluminium. However, there might be some similarities among iron, copper and aluminium that make them different from wood. So take a piece of freshly cut wood. It has a distinct appearance. Then take a piece of iron. This iron has a quite different appearance. Then when you compare iron with copper or aluminium, this copper or aluminium, they have different appearance when compared to iron. But However, there might be some similarities among iron, copper and aluminium that makes them different from wood. Let us do a sorting challenge. Collect small pieces of paper, cardboard, wood, chalk, copper, wire, aluminium foil and any article made up of brass, bronze, steel, etc. Take a look at the pieces you have collected. Do any of these materials shine when light falls on them? So take different pieces of materials like paper, cardboard, wood, chalk, then aluminium foil, brass, bronze, steel, etc. and look at the pieces you have collected and check whether these materials shine when light falls on them. Observe their texture, that means whether rough or smooth, color and other noticeable features, and record your observations in the notebook. Group the collected pieces based on their appearance. Materials that typically have shiny surfaces are said to have a lustrous appearance. Such materials with luster are usually metals. So, materials that have shiny surfaces, they are said to have a lustrous appearance. Lustrous means something is shiny, bright and reflecting light smoothly. It often refers to surfaces that have a polished or glossy appearance. So, materials with a luster are usually metals. Examples of metals include iron, copper, zinc, aluminium, gold, etc. So, these metals have lustrous appearance. However, some metals may lose their luster and start to look dull or non-lustrous due to the effect of air and moisture on them. So, some metals may lose their luster. That means they appear non-lustrous or look dull. Why? Due to the effect of air and moisture on them. So, why do some metals appear non-lustrous? The main reason is oxidation. Many metals, when exposed to air and moisture, react to form oxides. This oxide layer can dull the metal surface, making it appear less lustrous. For example, iron rust and silver tarnishes, reducing their luster. As a result, we often notice the luster only on their freshly cut surfaces. So, we can notice the luster only on their freshly cut surfaces. The next one, non-lustrous materials. What are called non-lustrous materials? Non-lustrous materials are those that do not have a shiny surface. They do not have a shiny surface. Some examples of non-lustrous materials are paper, wood, rubber, jute, etc. These are non-lustrous materials. They do not have a shiny surface. Are all lustrous materials metals? No, all lustrous materials are not metals. While metals are often known for their lustrous properties, there are some non-metallic substances that also exhibit luster. For example, diamond. Diamond is a form of carbon. It is known for its extreme hardness and brilliance. It is a non-metal. All that glitters is not gold, goes an old saying. Not all the materials that shine are metals. Surfaces of some materials are made shiny by polishing or coating them with thin layers of plastic, wax or any other material which makes them look shiny. These materials may not be metals. So, all lustrous materials are not metals. Which materials are hard? So, hardness is another property of materials. When you press different objects or materials with your hands, some of them like stones may be hard to compress, while others like an eraser can be easily compressed. So, some objects like stones, they are very hard to compress, but some objects like eraser, they can be easily compressed. Take a metal key and use it to scratch the surface of a piece of wood, aluminium, stone, iron, candle, chalk, and any other material or object. So you take a metal key and scratch the surface of these objects. Can some materials be scratched more easily than others? Of course. See, candle and chalk. They can be scratched easily, but objects like wood, aluminium, stone, iron, etc., they cannot be scratched easily. So, materials which can be compressed or scratched easily are soft, while other materials which are difficult to compress or scratch are hard. So, some materials that can be easily compressed or scratched, they are soft, while other materials which are difficult to compress or scratch, they are hard. However, these properties are relative in nature. That means, for example, rubber is harder than sponge, but rubber is softer than iron. Let us observe. Hold the objects given in table 6.3 with your hands. Feel whether the objects are hard or soft. Find out the materials they are made up of. Enter your observations in table 6.3. This is the table given. First object is brick. It is hard. It is made up of baked clay. The next one, water bottle. It may be hard or soft. It can be made up of plastic, steel, etc. Then pillow, soft, made up of cotton or fabric. Tumbler, hard. It is made up of glass, steel or metal. Then table, hard, made up of wood, metal, glass. Sweater, soft, made up of cotton, wool. Compare your observations with the observations of your friends and discuss. You have learned that materials can have different properties like luster, hardness, softness, and color. Can you think of any other properties that are shown by materials? Let us explore it further. Explore materials through which one can see or cannot see. Gulen, Sheeta and Sarah are playing hide and seek with their friends. Gulen hides behind a wall. Sheeta hides behind a big tree in the garden, while Sarah hides behind the frosted glass door, which has a hazy surface. So, some children are playing hide and seek. Gulen hides behind a wall. Then Sheeta hides behind a big tree in the garden, while Sarah hides behind the frosted glass door, which has a hazy surface. This frosted glass is often used in doors to provide privacy, while still allowing natural light to pass through. Sheeta's younger brother can see all of this happening through a glass window of his house. So, Sheeta's younger brother, he can see all this happening through a glass window of his house. The materials through which things can be seen clearly are called transparent. Glass, water, air, cellophane paper, etc. are some examples of transparent materials. So, what are called transparent materials? Transparent materials are those materials through which things can be seen clearly. Transparent materials are those materials through which things can be seen clearly. These materials allow light to pass through them. Examples: glass, water, air, cellophane paper, etc. Why did Gulen, Sheeta and Sarah choose these places to hide? Do you think it would be possible for Sheeta's brother to see her and her friends through a closed wooden window of the house? Is it possible? No. There are many materials through which you are not able to see at all. These materials are called opaque. Wood, cardboard and metals are examples of opaque materials. So, opaque materials are those materials through which we are not able to see at all. Wood, cardboard, metals, etc. are examples of opaque materials. Opaque objects are those that do not allow light to pass through them. The materials through which objects can be seen but not clearly are known as translucent. Butter paper and frosted glass are examples of translucent materials. So, translucent materials are those materials through which objects can be seen but not clearly. Examples: butter paper, frosted glass, oiled paper, etc. These substances or translucent materials, they allow some light to pass through them. Look at figure 6.5. Identify and label the nature of materials used by Gulan, Sheeta, Sara and Sheeta's brother. See this picture? Here, Gulan hides behind the wall. So, it is opaque object. We cannot see through the wall. Then, next person, Sheeta hides behind the big tree. So, it is also an opaque object. We cannot see through the tree. Then next, Sara hides behind the frosted glass door. So, it is translucent. We can see through the frosted glass but not clearly. Then, next, Sheeta's brother. He is looking through the glass window. So, it is transparent. He can see clearly through the glass. Activity. Let us classify. Classify the following objects as transparent, translucent or opaque in table 6.4. Glass tumbler, it is transparent. Butter paper, translucent. Eraser is an opaque object. Window glass is transparent. Frosted glass is translucent. Wooden body is opaque. Children, thanks for watching. If you like this video, please like, share and subscribe. We will see in the next video. Thank you.